With us now is Dennis Berman, business editor for the Wall Street Journal. Anthony laid out all the questions. Yeah. So what's going to happen? Is it going to be as serious as people have been prognosticating during this entire campaign?
Well, remember, we saw across Europe this morning, perhaps calls in Italy, France, beyond, certain elements in those countries want to have their own referenda. So, as Anthony pointed out, might we see a series of rolling elections, calls, questions, whatever you want to say, over the next few years that other countries may want to leave? I think that is definitely on the table. And if you're playing the markets or you're just an investor, you have a 401k, that's going to affect your portfolio. We are all interconnected. Whatever your belief on the politics, Charlie, what happens there does matter to your pocketbook.
Will there be a decline in the global economy?
Look how sensitive the market is right now. You know this better than anyone, right? The GDP worldwide, maybe 3%, probably around 2%. This does not help whatsoever. This brings interest rates down. It probably brings economic growth down in Europe, which probably has some follow-on effect. I don't think a debilitating follow-on effect in the U.S., but I think it does just put more tension in our ability to grow globally. It's just too many questions.
Well, how do you think the Wall Street, because clearly Wall Street very concerned, both J.P. Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs both issued statements to their clients this morning, reaffirming their commitment to their clients. How do you think this uncertainty will play out on Wall Street?
Right now, as you mentioned, the U.S. stocks are down around the world. If you want to take a vacation to London, now is probably the best time for you to do that.
There's the silver lining.
That might be the one silver lining right now. I think this is a multi-year process. Everything feels like it's happening right now. It's a very acute crisis, and that will somewhat recede. But over the long course here, we are in for a many-year period where major questions are unresolved, and that brings more uncertainty to the markets, which, frankly, is sort of hanging on by the grace of central banks around the world, be it Japan, Europe, or the U.S.
Included in all these changes that Anthony talked about, and all the questions, is a new prime minister. David Cameron out, Boris Johnson in.
That's certainly possible. Those jeers on that video were certainly saying something. But look,
remember, they
won.
Same party.
Another odd part of this, right?
Yes.
They won, and therefore they're going to have to chart the future. But economically, just imagine negotiating a trade deal with every single country that you were just in union with over the next 2 years. And that's really, to me, the main issue here is how tough does Europe want to be with the UK to perhaps be punitive in a way to try to prevent others from leaving the Union.
Thanks so much, Dennis.
Thank you.
In our next hour, we'll talk more about Brexit with Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. He'll be right here in Studio 57.